First race, Kathy Hawk brings them out. Fillies and Mares, maiden claiming pacers of 1 mile, a purse of $2,000. Exactas in tries, first half of the early daily double, a field of 9. Drivers change on the 5, Destined for Glory, Jeff Fount. The 1 is Our Derby Dreamer by the Derby's Edge Stable and Dreamer Morgan. They're both of the Buckeye State, trained by Virgil Morgan Jr. with the Scioto Downs leading driver Brett Miller. Number 2 is Goodnight Connection by the Spring Mill Venture of New Albany, Ohio, trained by Delvin Criswell, Kyle Later. Number 3 is Maryzona by Robertson Paul and Sidley of Painesville, Ohio, trained by Mike Metters with Jamie Dunlap. Number 4 is Misty Connection by Terry and Glenn Ader, Clarksburg, Ohio, trained by Brent Ader with Justin Hall. Number 5 is Destined for Glory by John Bryan and Amanda Georges of Wilmington, Ohio, trained by Calvin Wright, Jeff Fount aboard. Number 6 is Northwind Joy by Carl Kramer Jr., Mount Victory, Ohio, trained by Dan McClock with Bob Harper. Number 7 is Katie Casey, owned by Lindell Adamski and Alan Kirchenbaum of Florida and California, trained and driven by Joe Adamski. Number 8 is Amy's Shining Angel by Deborah Sears at Delaware, Ohio, trained by Larry Sears with Dan Noble. And for the outside of the 9 is Who Me by Sue Gordon Curtis of Galloway, Ohio, trained by Sherry Myers, the K-Man, Kane Kaufman, Ian Hersalke. That's the field for the first race. Fillies and Mares, maiden claiming pacers. Exactas in tries, first half of the early daily double. Drivers change on the 5, Destined for Glory, Jeff Fount. Post time, 7:30, 5 minutes away. Here at Scioto Downs, Ohio showplace of racing. Field in motion. They're all fan pacing and firing away from the inside. There goes the 3. Maryzona gets the first call, pushing the gate away. From the outside, there is Northwind Joy. Right alongside is Katie Casey. Furthermore, to the outside, Amy's Shining Angel is driving on there from 4th. Racing 5th and looking to duck in. There is Goodnight Connection. In front of the 1, Our Derby Dreamer in 6th. 7th there along the rail, Misty Connection. 8th there, that is Destined for Glory. And 9th and trailing the field, that is Who Me, and the K-Man can see them all as they race by the opening quarter. The opening quarter came and went in 28 seconds flat. And on top, Katie Casey with the lead here. But up on the outside, Maryzona is looking to retake. To the half they go. And on top of the field with the lead here, Maryzona is now clear to the front end once again. Katie Casey is going along in the garden spot, racing in 2. Northwind Joy is racing in 3rd. First to flush on the outside in 4th. That is Amy's Shining Angel, who is towing along Goodnight Connection. Second over the outside in 5 and perfectly placed there. Buried at the rail in 6th, Our Derby Dreamer. Third over the outside in 7th is Destined for Glory. 4th over the outside, racing in 8th, that is Misty Connection. And 9th and trailing the field, Who Me? Halfway home in 59 and 3/5. Off the turn and driving down the backside. Heads are pointed towards 3/4 in the opener, and on top, Maryzona is leading the way here by a neck. To the outside, applying heavy pressure, that is Amy's Shining Angel. Watching over the doing leaders from 3rd is Katie Casey. Perfectly placed there. Second over the outside, racing in 4th. That is Goodnight Connection. Buried at the rail, racing in 5. Northwind Joy. 3rd over the outside in 6. Destined for Glory. 3/4 in 1:29 and 1/5. Backside 29 and 3. They'll pace the final turn and head for home, and Maryzona with the lead here. Amy's Shining Angel is still bearing down to the outside in 2 and ready to be swung up 3 wide for the stretch drive. Goodnight Connection to the top of the stretch. Less than an 1/8 of them how to go. And down the stretch they come. Maryzona with the lead. Amy's Shining Angel is going to try it a different way and moves to the super stretch. Maryzona, Amy's Shining Angel, Maryzona in front. Amy's Shining Angel to go second. Goodnight Connection was 3rd. Down to the mile, 1:58, 2/5. Maryzona in a new lifetime mark. Time to do lifetime mark, 1:58 and 2. Here's the 3, Maryzona. The real brown filly by Arizona Jack. Out of a Mary Hare, she by Precious Bunny, owned by Robertson Paul and Sidley of Painesville, Ohio. Trained by Mike Metters, nicely handled here this evening by winning driver Jamie Dunlap. The 3, Maryzona, new lifetime mark, 1:58 and 2. 3-8 exacta, 33.60, 3-8-2 try, 1:14.20. Number 1 is Satellite Dish by Melody Young of Loreville, Ohio, trained and driven by Stephen Hettinger. Number 2 is Angel Touched by George Redden of Van Buren, Ohio, trained and driven by John Kadeski III. Number 3 is Rhinestone Ring and Bell, owned, trained and driven by Bill Heiser of Dublin, Ohio. Number 4 is John T. Burton Me by Westgate Motors Incorporated of Columbus, Ohio, trained by Ron Steck with Bob Chapman. Number 5 is Top Diamond by David Udo of Hicksville, Ohio, trained by Bill Webb with Brett Miller. Number 6 is Silly Illy by Lauren Paul Baker of Galloway, Ohio, trained by Jim Artledge Jr. with Dallas Miller. The 7 is Southside Flashes Out Sick. The 8 is Little Joe by Parker of Canal, Winchester, Ohio, and Berger of Columbus, Ohio, trained by Doug Parker with Bob Harper. The 9 is Ring S'more by the Thomas Stable of North Canton, Ohio, trained by Edward Thomas with Jeff Fout. And scoring from off the second tier is number 10, I'm Maxed Out by Fred Frempel in Napoleon, Ohio, trained by Mr. Todd Christie with Jeff Ace Nisonger in the sulky. That's the field for the second race. They're all fan trotting in a very nice start here and flashing some early speed. Middle of the track, there's the 5 Top Diamond of Brett Miller heading out for command here. Angel touched from the inside. These two are in a tussle, driving up from post 9. There's the 9 Ring Some More along the inside, dropping in 4th. Forwardly placed there, that is Silly Illy. Away dropping in 5, Rhinestone Ring and Bell. 6th there along the inside is John T. Burton Me. 7th along the inside, that is Little Joe. Then we have I'm Maxed Out in 9th, enjoying the field, Satellite Dish. By the opening quarter in 28 seconds flat, and Angel touched with the lead here. Now by the outside, Ring Some More, and Jeff Fout looks as though maybe they'll be taking the long mile the outside into, but now crossing over to take the lead. Ring Some More to the inside. Angel touched is now trotting in second. Top Diamond trots in third, a gap at 2.5. Trotting in fourth, that is Silly Illy. 5th along the inside, Rhinestone Ring and Bell. 6th is John T. Burton May. A swing to the outside, and 7th is Little Joe. 8th is I'm Maxed Out, and 9th and trailing the field, Satellite Dish, as they trotted by the half in 57 2/5. Off the turn and driving down the backside, and Angel touched is now trying to clear to the front end here. Ring Some More to the inside, and now by the outside applying pressure. That is Top Diamond, who is trotting in third, and now second. Inside in third is Ring Some More, trotting in fourth, that is Silly Illy. Outside in 5 is Little Joe. 6th is Rhinestone Ring and Bell. 7th and swung up 3 wide of the outside of there. That's I'm Maxed Out. 8th is John T. Burton Me, and 9th and trailing the field, Satellite Dish. 3/4 in 1:27 3/5. They'll trot the final turn and head for home, and Angel touched with the lead here. To the inside, Ring Some More is trying to trot to her in second, and out 3 wide of the outside and gobbling up Racetrack. Here's I'm Maxed Out as they turn to the top of the stretch. Less than an eighth of a mile to go, and down the stretch they come. Angel touched with the lead. Ring Some More to the outside is coming to her and coming on, along with I'm Maxed Out, Satellite Dish, and Silly Illy coming to the wire. Ring Some More gets up to win it. Finishing second's going to be the 2, Angel Touch. Third was the 10, I'm Maxed Out. The time of the mile, 1:59 2/5. Ring Some More. First victory in 2003. And the birthday boy, Jeff Fout, being greeted by Heather Miller. Heather Miller, she'll do it throughout the evening. And Jeff Fout has turned 39, as he has for the past 10 years. Happy birthday, Jeff Fout. The 9, Ring Some More, now your official winner. 6-year-old bay gelding by Carry the Message out of S'more Crown. She by Mighty Crown by the Thomas Stable in North Canton, Ohio. Trained by Edward Thomas. Nicely handled here this evening by winning driver Jeff Fout. First win in 2003, 1:59 2. The 9, Ring Some More. Actually, I think Mr. Fout's 51. Early double, 3-9, $49 even, 9-2, 52-20, 9-2-10, try, 162.60. Two-year-old Colton Gelding, maiden pacers, a pace of 1 mile, a purse of $2,400, a field of 8, no changes, exact as in tries. The 1 is Dream Forever by Anderson, Cooper, and Mogan, all of the Buckeye State, trained by Scott Mogan with Sam Chipnoble III. Next is the 2, K.S. John's Boy, and by Henry, you can call me Hank Kaufman of Baltimore, Ohio, and John Smith of Bellefontaine, Ohio, trained by Mike Metters, Jimmy Dunlap. Number 3 is Columbia 7 by Teresa Cooney of North Lawrenceburg, Ohio, and Tony Fuller of Dublin, Ohio, trained by Tony Fuller. Tony Fuller is up. The 4 is Western Attorney by Barnett Zimmerman Limited Liability Corporation of Deerfield, Illinois, trained by Virgil Morgan Jr. Brett Miller is up. The 5 is Quebec, owned by J&J Como Jr. Incorporated at Waco, New Jersey, trained and driven by Peter Foley. The 6 is He's a Magic Man by Keaton of Morristown, Indiana. Sanders of Franklin, Indiana, trained by Joe Essig, Bob Harper. The 7 is Perfect Approach, owned by Leonard Buckner of Mount Eaton, Ohio, trained and driven by Tom Brinkerhoff. For the outside of the 8 is Devilish Donnie by Jerry Zozo of Columbus, Ohio, and Kathy Ratcliffe of Orient, Ohio, trained and driven by Jim Daly in the sulky. They're all fan pacing and firing away from the inside. There goes Columbia 7. Right alongside of that is Western Attorney. Driving out from the rail, there is Dream Forever. Outside from post 7, that is Perfect Approach, who's on the go there, looking to be forwardly placed in 4th. Away in 5, that is He's a Magic Man, a gap of 4 lengths there. Racing in 6, KS John's Boy. On the inside, racing in 7th as they race towards the opening quarter, that is Quebec at 8th, and trailing the field, Devilish Donnie. As they step by the opening quarter in 28 seconds flat, they'll pass the stand for the first time and head on down to the half, and Western Attorney, your 4 to 5, Punter's Choice, leads it here by length and a half 2. To the inside, Dream Forever is going along into in the garden spot. Along the inside, He's a Magic Man is ranging up there in 3rd. Gap of 2.5 in 4th, that is Perfect Approach. 5th, that is Columbia 7. 6th, that is KS John's Boy. 7th is Quebec, and 8th, and showing the field, Devilish Donnie. Stepping around the clubhouse, turning on over to the half, and Western Attorney leads them to the half. They're halfway home, 57 4/5. A second panel well rated of 29 4. Off the turn and driving down the backside of their well spread out here. On top, Western Attorney leads it by a length and 3/4 to the inside. Dream Forever is going along into 3/8 of a mile remaining, and He's a Magic Man is racing in 3rd. Gap of 3, racing 4th, that is Perfect Approach. 5th, that is Columbia 7. 6th on the inside, there is Devilish Donnie. 7th along the inside, KS John's Boy, and 8th, and trailing the field, Quebec. They went by 3/4 in 1:26 3/5. So the tempo's been picked up quite considerably here. Western Attorney on top, but now to the outside. Dream Forever is now applying pressure to the outside in 2. Off the turn and spinning to the top of the stretch, setting sail for home. Less than an 1/8 of a mile to go, and down the stretch they come. Western Attorney to the inside is digging down deep. Dream Forever on the outside. Western Attorney on the inside is digging back in and coming on, and Western Attorney gets back up to win it. Dream Forever to go second. Finishing 3rd was a 7 Perfect Approach. Top of the mile, 1:56 3/5. Western Attorney, first career victory. For 2-year-old Colton Gelding Pacers, timed in 1:56 3. Here's the 4 Western Attorney. He's a 2-year-old son of Western Hanover out of a Bewitched mare. She by Arts Place, royally bred by Barnett Zimmerman Limited Liability Corporation at Deerfield, Illinois. Trained by Virgil Morgan Jr. Nicely handled here this evening by the hitman, Brett Miller. 1:56 3, the 4 Western Attorney. 4-1 exactas, 760, 417 try, $69 even. A very game mile by the 4 Western Attorney, 1:56 3/5. Number 1 is Kim's Diamond Chip, owned by Jay and Kim Shermente Sears of Deerfield Beach, Florida, trained and driven by Jay Sears. Number 2 is Rose Run Electra by Geiler, Anikas, and Beatty. They're all of the Buckeye State, trained and driven by Sandy Beatty. Number 3 is Wintergreen by Harry and Iris Horowitz of Brooklyn, New York, trained by Tim Rucker, Debbie Rucker. The 4 is DJ Abigail, my Budweiser Best Bet of the Night, is owned by Gene McKee of Newark, Ohio, trained by Jim Artledge Jr. with Dallas Miller. Number 5 is Spicy's Love by Amabel Patel, Springfield, Ohio, trained by Scott Mogan with Brett Miller. The 6 Double Eagle is out sick. The 7 is Mufasa by Michael Cott at Delaware, Ohio, trained by Jim Pollock Jr. with the K-Man, Kane Kaufman. Number 8 is He's a Big Dude by Mark Hartnell of Delaware, Ohio, who also does the training. Bob Harper is up. The 9 is Pop Pop by Donna Jean Anderson at Circleville, Ohio, trained and driven by Brian Weaver. And scoring from off the second tier is number 10, Chevette Vita by Thomas Hicks at Pompano Beach, Florida, trained and driven by Chris Beaver in her sulky. That is the field for the 4th race. Exacta trifecta early pick 3 weight in motion. Break the 3 Wintergreen before the start. They're all fan trotting and firing out of there for the lead from the outside. There's He's a Big Dude, and Bob Harper is pressing on for the lead, along with Pop Pop, who steps out of there from post 9 to go in the garden spot, racing in 2. Away in 3rd, that is Rose Run Electra. Down along the inside, racing in 4th, that is DJ Abigail. 5th on the inside, Chevette Vita. 6th and caught up on the outside is Mufasa. 7th along the rail, Spicy's Love. 8th there on the inside is Kim's Diamond Chip. And 9th then trailing the field after the early miscue, Wintergreen, and she's back down trotting as they move by the opening quarter. The opening quarter came and went 10:30 2/5, and He's a Big Dude on top here, leading it by a length and 3/4 to the inside. Pop Pop is trotting in in second. On the inside, Rose Run Electra is trotting in third, and now DJ Abigail is sent first over the outside, trotting in fourth as they trot around the clubhouse, turning on over to the half, and he's appropriate named. He's a big dude on the front end tier with the lead here by a length and a quarter. Grinding it out, DJ Abigail is at the leader's wheel disc in two and is pressing on. Pop is racing in third. Fourth on the outside there, that is Spicy's Love as they reach the half in 101 and 4/5. On the inside, trotting in 5, Rose Run Electra. Down the backside they go. Heads are pointed towards 3/4, and he's a big dude. Leads it here by a big neck. To the outside, trotting in 2, that is DJ Abigail. Pop trots in third. To the outside, fourth is Spicy's Love. Fifth on the inside, Rose Run Electra. Sixth on the inside, there's Chevette Vita. Outside racing in seventh, that is Mufasa. As they race towards 3/4, eighth is Kim's Diamond Chip, and ninth and trailing the field, Winter Green. 3/4 and 130 and 4/5. They'll trot the final turn and head for home, and he's a big dude. He'll be set down for the stretch drive on top. To the outside, DJ Abigail. She's still there, still coming to him as they turn to the top of the stretch. Less than an eighth of a mile to go. And down the stretch they come. He's a big dude to the inside. DJ Abigail on the outside of the inside. Here's Pop, and Pop is surging in the passing lane. But as they come to the wire, he's a big dude in front. Finishing second to 9, Pop. Third was the 4, DJ Abigail. The top of the mile, 2 minutes, 2/5. He's a big dude and a new lifetime mark. 2 minutes and 2/5 to establish a new lifetime mark. Here's the 8, he's a big dude. And he certainly is a big dude. 3-year-old bay coat by Ardon T. Out of a Mighty Hazel mare. She by Mighty Crown by Mark Cardinal at Delaware, Ohio. Trained by Mark Cardinal. Nicely handled here this evening by winning driver Bob Harper. 8, he's a big dude. 2 minutes, 2/5, new lifetime mark. It's official, 8-9-4-2 official. 8-9 exacta, 96.40, 8-9-4 try, 2:19.80. And Geldings claiming Pacers, a 1 mile, a purse of $2,000. Exactas and tries, a field of 9, no changes. The 1 is Bossa is my Bud Light. Long shot of the night is owned by Roy Swaney of Spring Valley, Ohio. Trained by David Loff with Jeff Fount. Number 2 is Hold This by Hushang Momanpour of Lexington, Kentucky. Trained by Lamar Moody with Brett Miller. Next is the 3, Black Cloud Bill by Bartley and Bartley Jr., both of the Buckeye State, trained by Roger Bartley Jr. with Jeff Ace Nisonger. Number 4 is Holly Hill Limited by Timothy Mowry of Sylvania, Ohio, trained and driven by Mark Hedworth. Number 5 is Anxious Charlie by Brian Tatum of Mount Sterling, Ohio, trained by Karen Seifert with Jamie Dunlap. The 6 is Docken. The lessee is also the trainer Robert Rhodes of Obetz, Ohio, Bob Harper. The 7 is Bridalwood. Owned trained by Tommy Smith of Lebanon, Ohio with Tony Hall. Number 8 is William J. Bonney. Scott Piney's Bud Light Long Shot of the Night is owned by Rick Starr of Hilliard, Ohio, trained by Jeff Brewer. Jason Brewer is up. And for the outside of the 9 is Noble Big G by Robertson Gail Impson of Cedarville, Ohio, trained by Gail Impson with the K-Man, Kane Kaufman, and the Sulky. That's the field for the 5th race. Stallions and Geldings claiming pace are approaching the start. Field in motion. They're all fan pacing and firing away from the outside. There goes Docken, who's headed for Commandeer. Also pushing the gate away, there is Bridalwood. On the inside, Hold This has come away in third. Fourth and dropping in, that is Black Cloud Bill. Inside racing in 5 is Holly Hill Limited. Sixth on the inside and dropping in is Anxious Charlie. Away in 7th, that is William J. Bonney. And 8th and trailing the field, Noble Big G and the K-Man can see them all as they step towards the opening quarter on top. Bridalwood and Tony Hall, but not for long. Over the outside, here comes Docken and Bob Harper. The opening quarter in 28 seconds flat, and off stride goes Docken there as they race by the stand for the first time and head on down to the half. And Hold This is now out here and looking to take the lead. And Hold This as they roll under the wire with 5/8 of a mile remaining. Hold This is trying to clear to the front end as they race around the clubhouse, turning on over to the half. Bridalwood is battling back on the inside there. These two playing hardball on the front end. On the inside, Black Cloud Bill is watching over the doing leaders from third. Rough gated second over the outside in in fourth there. That is Dockin. Fifth on the inside. That is Holly Hill Limited. They're halfway home, 57 and 4/5. A second Pinot at 29 and 4. Off the turn and driving down the backside, and Bridalwood leads it on the inside. Hold this over the outside is applying pressure into and is now beginning to relent and back through the field there. Along the inside, Black Cloud Bill is racing in third and swung up 3 wide of the outside. Here's Holly Hill Limited in fourth. Following that move is Dockin, buried at the rail there. Then 5, William J. Bonney, sixth on the outside of there as they race by three quarters and 128 and 2/5. They'll pace the final turn and head for home. Bridalwood to the inside, to the outside, Holly Hill Limited, and now ready to swing 3 wide for the stretch drive. Here comes Black Cloud Bill and awaiting the passing lane, William J. Bonney. Off the turn in less than an eighth of a mile to go. And down the stretch they come. Middle of the track with the lead here. Holly Hill Limited to the outside. Black Cloud Bill is charging hard along with William J. Bonney as they drive to the wire. Holly Hill Limited gets up to win it. Finishing second was the 3, Black Cloud Bill. Close for third time of the mile, 158 1/5. Holly Hill Limited. Photo for win. For 387 unofficial. 4387 unofficial. So official 4387 is now official. 43 exacto 107.40. 438 try. Return $2,114.80. Attention please, live programs are now on sale for tomorrow evening's card. The Friday live programs are now available at the program stands. Trackside of the winner's circle, the official winner of the 5th race, the 4 Holly Hill Limited, a 12-year-old bait gelding by Devil's Adversary, out of a bar hop mare, she by Adios Vic, owned by Timothy Mowry of Sylvania, Ohio, nicely trained and driven by Mark Hedworth. The 4 Holly Hill Limited posts the second twin in 2003, 158 and 1, the 4 Holly Hill Limited. That's the one Bosses of Bosses lame, so if you have a ticket on the one Boss of Bosses, there is a refund available for that horse. Winner was the 4 Holly Hill Limited and Mark Hedworth, the Raceway Park Invader, 158 and 1, 1840, $825. Finishing second was the 3 Black Cloud Bill, returning 1045.80. Third of the mile was the 8 William J. Bonney. 6th race, Titans and Geldings, maiden pace, a 1 mile, a purse of $2,400. Exactas and tries, a field of 8, no changes. Kathy Hawk brings them out. Here's the field. The 1 is Gold Club, owned by Jacobson of Crompound, New York, and Corn of Monmouth Beach, New Jersey, trained by Virgil Morgan Jr., Brett Miller. Number 2 is The Right Place K, by Roberts Key of Leechburg, Pennsylvania, trained by Jim Artledge Jr., Bob Harper. Number 3 is Fritzy.com, by Fritz and McHenry. They're all of the Buckeye State, trained by Richard Fritz with Jeff Fount. The 4 is Smart Sam, by Mondell of Delaware, Ohio, and Robinson of Cardington, Ohio, trained by Delvin Criswell. Kyle Leader. The 5 is Lido, by Bill Webb of Defiance, Ohio, and Denny Miller of Archbold, Ohio, trained by Bill Webb with Dan Noble. The 6 is 3 Times Please, by George Fee of Canal, Winchester, Ohio, trained and driven by Jim Daly. The 7 is 3 G's, owned by Clarence Gilliam of Chillicothe, Ohio, trained by Clarence Gilliam with Adam Rucker. And for the outside of the 8 is Ice Harvest, owned by Short of Delaware, Ohio, and Paint Creek Farms of Rochester, Michigan, trained by Jeff Short, Jeff Ace Nicesonger. Ocean. Being sent on their way. They're all fan pacing in a very even start here, flashing some early speed from the outside. Ice Harvest and Ace Nicesonger is on the go there. In between horses, Fritzy.com driving up from post 2, The Right Place K. They're 3 abreast as they race around the first turn and over to the opening quarter. Gap at 2.5 there, racing in fourth. That is 3 Times Please as they race towards the opening quarter. On top here, Ice Harvest has cleared to the front end here and is rolling away on top and has it by 4. To the inside, Fritzy.com is racing in second. The opening quarter in 27 and 4 fifths. Along the inside, the right place K is racing in third, and now rushing up to the outside. Fritzy.com to take the lead. Ice Harvest is yielding for a garden spot, racing in two. The right place K is first over the outside in third. Fourth, that is Three Times Please. A move to the outside in five is Smart Sam. Sixth is Lido. Seventh in a ground-saving journey is Gold Club. And eighth in trailing the field, but a swing to the outside, 3Gs. As they step around the clubhouse, turning on over to the half, and the right place K and Bob Harper up to take the lead through an initial half of 58 and 2 fifths. Off the turn and driving down the backside. Heads are pointed towards three quarters. On top of the field, the right place K along the inside, going along into Fritzy.com. First over the outside, racing in third. That is Smart Sam, who is towing along Lido. Second over the outside in fourth. Bird at the rail in five, Ice Harvest. Third over the outside in six, that is 3Gs. Fourth over the outside in seventh in Gold Club, and eighth in trailing the field, and backing up there, Three Times Please, reporting to three quarters in 127 and 3 fifths. They'll pace the final turn and head for home. And Smart Sam out there with the earplugs out, lead it by a neck to the inside of the right place. K is battling back gamely and ready to swing three wide for the stretch drive. That is Lido, and out 4 wide to the outside. Here comes 3Gs to the top of the stretch. Less than an eighth of a mile to go, and down the stretch they come, driving through Power Alley with the lead here to the outside. Smart Sam, the right place K, is battling back in the right place K. Smart Sam, the right place K, in front. Finishing second, the 4, Smart Sam. Third was the 7, 3Gs, top of the mile, 157, 3 fifths. The right place K in a track side of the winner's circle. Victory. The unofficial winner of the 6th race, the 2, the right place K. First career victory, timed at 157 and 3. 3-year-old Bakel by Big Town, earned by Lucky Cindy Bear. She by Tyler B. By Roberts Key of Leechburg, Pennsylvania. Trained by Jim Artledge Jr. Nicely handled here this evening by winning driver Bob Harper. So second win on this evening's card for winning driver Bob Harper, giving him a driving double. The 2, the right place K, and Bob Harper. First career victory, 157, 3 fifths. Jazzy Connection, the driver is Bob Harper. With this evening's 7th race, fillies and mares, condition claiming pacers, a 1 mile, a purse of $2,200, exacta trifecta late pick 3, wagering begins here. A field of 10, no changes. The 1 is Electric Puppy by Russell and Mayberry Jr. of Kentucky, trained and driven by Tom Russell. Next is the 2, Runaway Lawyer by Mark Clark of Springfield, Ohio, trained by David Perry with Dan Noble. Number 3 is Losty Lita, owned by Joe D. Shelf, Johnstown, Ohio, trained by Joel Shelf. Jody Shelf is up. The 4 is Play with Fire by Russo of Westerville, Ohio, and Jeffrey Mills of Johnstown, Ohio, trained by Brian Brown with Bob Harper. Number 5 is Charity Bond by Mullen of Fort Wright, Kentucky, and Morgan of Villa Hills, Kentucky, trained by Tom Horner Jr. with Brett Miller. Number 6 is DC Siren, owned and trained by Marlon Smith of Thornville, Ohio, Jeff Fount. The 7 is Sarah Chili's Joss by Doc's Kid Stable of Xenia, Ohio, trained and driven by Mike McClelland. Number 8 is China Die by Glenn and Robin Schmidt of Salina, Ohio, trained and driven by Bruce Schmidt. The outside of the 9 is VC On Time by Doug Meyer of Columbus, Ohio, trained by Jeff Amon with Sam Chip Noble III. And scoring from off the second tier, the 10, Lil Cam's Court by Buxton, Broadstone, Andrews, and Leopard. They're of Pennsylvania and Ohio, trained by Scott Mogan, Jim Daly, and Herselke. Motion. They're all fan pacing and firing away from the inside. Electric Puppy is on the go. Right alongside of that is Runaway Lawyer. Driving up from the outside, there's Sarah Chili's Jazz. From the inside, from off the second tier is Lil Cam's Court, who comes away in third. Got to the outside in fourth, that is Sarah Chili's Jazz. Inside racing in 5, that is Lusty Lita. Gap at 2, racing in 6, that is Play with Fire. 7th along the inside is Charity Bond. 8th along the inside, DC Siren of the 2 trailers. Those are China Die and VC On Time. Stepping toward towards the opening quarter. The opening quarter came and went in 28 and 1/5. An Electric Puppy is showing the way here on the inside. Runaway Hoyer is racing in two, and now first to flush on the outside in third. Here comes Lil Cam's Court, and Lil Cam's Court is up to take the lead here. Second over the outside, racing in fourth. That is Lusty Lita. On the inside at a ground-saving journey in five is Sarah Chili's Jess. A move to the outside in sixth. Play with Fire. Outside racing in seventh, DC Sarin. Outside racing in eighth, that is China Dye. On the inside in ninth, Charity Bond in 10th, and trailing the field, that is VC on time. They went by the half in 58 seconds flat. Off the turn and driving down the backside, an Electric Puppy has fought off the 10, Little Cam's Court, but now swung up 3 wide of the outside. Here's Lusty Lita, and Lusty Lita is right there alongside of the leader, and looked the leader in the eye and is trying to go right on by. Lusty Lita by a length, now a length and a quarter, and is clear to the front end here. On the inside, Electric Puppy could not go with her in second. Up on the outside in third, that is Play with Fire, 3/4 and 127 and 2/5. Buried at the rail, looking for racing room in fourth is Runaway Lawyer as they pace the final turn and head to the top of the stretch. And also moving up from the back of the pack, here comes China Dye and DC Sarin to the top of the stretch. Less than an eighth of a mile to go, and down the stretch they come, driving through Heartbreak Lane. Lusty Lita with the lead here. Play with Fire, and China Dye is charging hard on the outside. Lusty Lita, China Dye on the outside. These two are going to hit the wire together. Very close there. Finishing third of the mile was the four. Play with Fire. Down of the mile, 157 4/5. Photo for a win. (8-3-4-6) is now official. 8-3 exacta, 52.60. 8-3-4 try, 160-160. Trackside of the winner's circle, the official winner of the 7th race, the 8 China Dye, scoring here at 157 and 4, a new lifetime mark. 4-year-old bay mare by Dye Laughing out of a China Beach mare. She by Sun Sam, by Glenn and Robin Schmidt to Saline, Ohio. Nicely trained and driven by Bruce Smith. The 8 China Dye reports home at a new lifetime mark, 157 and 4/5, new lifetime mark, 2 in a row at Scioto Downs. Race number 8, drivers change on the 4 Jazzy Connection. Bob Harper, a field of 9. Exactas and tries. And in Geldings, maiden claiming Pacers of 1 mile, a purse of $2,200. Exacta trifecta, first half of the late daily double. Drivers change on the 4 Jazzy Connection. Bob Harper. Field of 9, the 1 is Osmutanto by Holland of Spring Valley, Ohio, and Horvath of Fort Myers, Florida, trained by Tom Myers with Jim Shelton. The 2 is Ombro Algonquin, owned and trained by David Loff of Mechanicsburg, Ohio, with the K-Man, Kane Kaufman. Number 3 is Fly Fly Man by Calvin Lamb of Marion, Ohio, trained and driven by Bobby Arnett. The 4 is Jazzy Connection by Ann Klotz and Janet Dar. They're all of Orient, Ohio, trained by Dave Klotz with Bob Harper. Drivers changed to Bob Harper. The 5 is Thunderbird by Reed Racing of the big city of Newark, Ohio, trained by Dean Collins. Brett Miller is up. The 6 is Sam's in Town by Gerald Criswell, Marion, Ohio, trained by Delvin Criswell. Kyle Later. The 7 is Andrews Line Drive, owned by Craig Blatchford of Mantua, Ohio, trained by Ron Potter with Jeff Fout. The 8 is Blonde Chaser by Karen Lecker of Hamilton, Ohio, trained by Sam Coven, Tony Hall. And for the outside of the 9 is White-Eyed Tiger by Timothy Lane of Marysville, Ohio, trained by Jim Artledge Jr., Dallas Miller. in the sulky. That's approaching the start. Field in motion. They're all fan pacing and firing away from the inside. There goes Umbro Algonquin right alongside. Middle of the track, Thunderbird clears to the frontier. Up on the outside in third, that is Sam's in town. On the inside, Osmutanto is coming away in fourth. Caught to the outside in five is Blonde Chaser. In there racing in sixth, that is Fly Fly Man. Seventh there along the rail, that is Jazzy Connection. The two trailers here are Andrews Line Drive and White Eyed Tiger Can See 'Em All. As they step towards the opening quarter, it's a quick one, 27 and 1 fab. And Thunderbird with the lead here for Brett Miller by a length and a quarter. Right there, nose to helmet of the garden spot. Racing in second is Umbro Algonquin as they pass in front of the stand for the first time and scamper on down to the half. Sam's in town, found a seat in third. Osmutanto is racing in fourth. Driven back is Blonde Chaser in five. Sixth is Fly Fly Town. To the outside in seventh, that is Jazzy Connection. Eighth, there is Andrews Line Drive. And ninth, and trailing the field, that is a White Eyed Tiger as they step around the clubhouse, turn to the half. They're halfway home, 56 and 3 fifths. Even money, punter's choice here. Thunderbird on top and opens up by 6. On the inside, Umbro Algonquin could not go with him in second. On the inside, Sam's in town is racing in third. Osmutanto races in fourth, locked in 5. Shuffle back there is Blonde Chaser. First over the outside, racing in sixth. As they near the 3/4 mile mark of the race, that is Andrews Line Drive. Reaching 3/4 on the board, an insane 124 and 2 fifths. They'll pace the final turn and head for home. And on top of the field, Thunderbird is absolutely destroying this field as he turns to the top of the stretch all by himself. Less than an eighth of a mile to go. And down the stretch he comes. Thunderbird is opening up and he's rolling away here. Thunderbird, the 3-year-old bay getting by Broadway Jade out of a Thunder Lane. She by Thunderbird is going to win this one here all wrapped up. Thunderbird in front. Getting up for second, the 8 Blonde Chaser. Third was the 6 Sam's in town, the top of the mile. 155 lifetime mark. Here's the 5 Thunderbird. 3-year-old bay gelding by Broadway Jade out of a Thunder Lane. She by Thunderbird. Owned by Reed Racing of Newark, Ohio. Nicely trained by Dean Collins. Very nicely driven here this evening by the rock star, Brett Miller. The 5 Thunderbird. 155 flat, rocking away. 5862 is now official. 58 exact returns 59.40. 586 try returns 94.40. The 1 is Weeby Lee by the Strollen Stable, Marion, Ohio, trained and driven by Bobby Arnett. The 2 is Bossy Bill by Joseph Shemai of Lexington, Kentucky, trained by Lamar Moody with Dan Noble. Number 3 is Better Still by Michael Empler and Dan Russo, both of Ohio, trained by Mike Epler with Bob Harper. The 4 is Millway Big Cam, owned and trained by Jeffrey Mark Brewer, Morrow, Ohio. Jason Brewer's at the lines. The 5 is Richard Hokinson's of Midway, Kentucky. Tricky Surprise, trained by Tommy Smith, Tony Hall. The 6 is Lucky Boy by Stephen Kaufman of Arcanum, Ohio, trained by Kane Kaufman. Kane Kaufman drives. The 7 is Joe P. Cadet. The lessee is also the trainer, Bill Dorn of Worthington, Ohio. Sam Chipnoble III. The 8 is White Horse Charmer. The owner and trainer and driver is Mark Hedworth of Toledo, Ohio. From the outside of the 9 is R.W.'s Out of Towner by Howard Howard Jackson of DeGraff, Ohio, trained by Ed Bibler with Brett Miller. And scoring from off the second tier is the 10, Wild Red Reed, owned and trained by Dan Ader of Clarksburg, Ohio. Kyle Ader in the sulky, in motion. They're all fan pacing and firing away for the lead, pushing the gate away. There goes the 4 Millway Big Cam in between horses there, driving up from the outside. There is Tricky Surprise from the inside. Bossy Bill comes away third. Inside in fourth is Weeby Lee from off the rail there. Away in 5, that is Better Still on the inside. Racing in 6, dropping in there is White Horse Charmer. Inside racing in 7th, that is Wild Red Reed there. 8th along the inside, that is Lucky Boy. And the 2 trailers here are Joe P. Cadet Cadet, and RW's out of towner can see them all. As they move by the opening quarter came and went in 28 3/5. That's feasible for these as they march on by the stand for the first time and head on down to the half. Tricky Surprise with the lead, but Bossy Bill is now ranging over the outside for Dan Noble. Along the inside, racing third, that is Millway Big Cam. Following the cover, second over the outside in fourth, that is Wee Bee Lee. Third over on the outside, racing in five there, that is White Horse Charmer. Fourth over the outside, racing in sixth, that is Wild Red Reed. As they reach the half, they're halfway home in 59 2/5, so we got a new leader. Bossy Bill off the turn and driving down the backside. Heads are pointed towards three-quarters, setting sail for three-quarters, and Bossy Bill is the boss up top. Leads it here by a length and a quarter. To the inside, Tricky Surprise is right there, nose to helmet, racing in two. Millway Big Cam is racing in third. Fourth and on the outside of there, that is Wee Bee Lee, who can't go on. Swung up three wide. On the outside is White Horse Charmer. Following that move, and now swung up four wide to the outside. Here comes Wild Red Reed. Three-quarters and 129 flat. They'll pace the final turn and head for home. Bossy Bill and Dan Noble is all over him. Now pulling the two-hole Tricky Surprise, and outside, three wide of the outside. That's Wild Red Reed spinning to the top of the stretch. Less than an eighth of a mile to go. And down the stretch they come, driving through Power Alley, and Wild Red Reed is blowing right on by. Wild Red Reed inside the final 16th is drawing clear. Getting up very late here for second, going to be the 9 RW's out of towner. Third is going to be the 5-horse Tricky Surprise, and to round out the Super was the 8 and final Superfecta Pace, timed at 1:59 flat. The 10 Wild Red Reed, a 7-year-old bay getting by Billy Darnt out of a Kathy Barron. She by Baron Hanover, owned and trained by Dan Ader of Clarksburg, Ohio. Very nicely driven here this evening by winning driver Kyle Ader. The 10 Wild Red Reed and 1:59 flat. Posty first win in 2003. 10-9-5-8 unofficial. It's official. 10-9-5-8 is official. 10-9 exacta 41.20. 10-9-5 try 414.20. 10-9-5-8 super $2,867.40.